Okay, so I put some paper mache, some newspaper on the both sides and also on the sides here, you see. I actually made two coats at the back and on the sides to make it more sturdy. So the back is this, actually I don't know anymore which one is the back. Yes, the back is this one, so that is the front. Oh, so you see there is something wrong here. So in that case it's very easy. You just take some more glue and you put some glue back. Probably when I moved the box, maybe I damaged it without realizing that I was damaging it. So like that, and up, done. That is nothing. I didn't see any bubble, air bubble. I saw a few wrinkles, but not terrible. If you see a wrinkle with your nail, you can just scratch it a little and it will make it flat. So what is the next step? The next step is very simple. It's simply to cover with gesso. So this is gesso. It's white. Well, this is a very old pot that I have. It is white and it covers all the entries and everything, unless you want to keep that, but I don't want. I plan to do something else. So it's kind of a primer. My gesso is not top notch. I will see if I manage to use it, otherwise I will have to grab another one. That's okay. That's okay, but I think it will have to be thrown away soon. And I put some water, but you know, it's so hot here in Los Angeles that it's very difficult to keep a very long time product. They dry really fast.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
See here, I see something wrong here. So okay, I'm just going to put my gesso like this. Sometimes the gesso glues too, because it's a medium with some white pigment. Actually, it's some what we call blanc de meudon. It's a white pigment. You can find it in the nature. But if it doesn't glue enough, I will come back with some glue anyway. The glue becomes transparent as soon as it's dry. So I will continue on the sides. I will have to wait for it to dry, and then I will be able to do the back, and maybe I will need a second coat if it's not white enough. Unless, of course, I want to keep slightly the effect of the newspaper at the back. It depends on what you want to do. I don't know. I will see. I will see what I think when I see it. There is a big part of improvisation, of course, also. Even if I have an idea of what I want to do, by doing it, it may change, you know.
Okay.
So here I put, so on the top, on the sides, I must let it dry. I will do the other side then, and maybe a second coat. I will tell you. How much must I let it dry? Few hours, and then I will check if I can do the other side. If I can, I will do it. I will wait for a few hours, and then I will see if I can, if I must, or if I want to do a second coat. So I will show you later what I've done. For now I'm going to let it dry, and of course I put my brush in the water as usually, and I will wash it, because you can't you can get back a brush if you let the gesso dry. It's like a paint, you know, so you really need to wash it, at least to put it in some water. I tried to do a smaller box. It's actually a soap box that I had. I just did one, the top and the 4 sides, and I will have to continue on the bottom. And I also tried the little cardboard basket that I had, but it's not finished yet. I see that I forgot a place here, but you see how it becomes harder. That needs more glue. Becomes harder, and of course more you put layers of newspaper, harder it is. Same thing if you see something like that which is not good, you add more glue and it's okay. I'm going to do something like that. So it's an owl. It's the picture of an owl that I found actually on eBay, and I really like the photo. I like animals in general, but this one is very spectacular, and I thought maybe I can use this image on the box. The only problem is that the image is rather big. The box is not as big as you can see. Yes, the box is not as big as the owl. So I will have to do the owl a little smaller. The colors, basically, here it's kind of gray, mauvey gray, with some white here, brownish but more gray, gray brown and a little mauvey. Here it's white, of course, but also there is some brown here, which looks slightly gray, but not as gray as here. And here we have some black. Oh, I forgot to pull out some yellow, but once I arrive here I will be almost done. And I will see if I do the whole thing smaller or if I do just the top and we won't see the tail. I don't know. I will do it as I feel it, and it will be good. I mean, for what I want, because the aim is not to do a copy of a photo. The aim is to express yourself on a support. So you have to express yourself by the way you want to express yourself. However, you must do your best, of course, to do it. But if you don't see the whole tail, it's not a big deal. But however, I will do the twig, the branch here, and the branches at the background, because that is interesting. So I pulled some paints here. Some of them are cheaper, other ones are more expensive. I pulled what I had. I don't want to spend money now on the paint because I have many, so I want to use first what I have and then I will buy more. Basically I needed some gray, so I have this gray. I'm sorry, it's very dirty here. It's some gray, so the brand is Liquitex. They are rather expensive, these ones, because it's more made for fine art if you want to paint with acrylic. I also have this one, paint gray, because I thought it could be useful. It's almost black, but mixed with white it can be a very nice gray. It's some acrylic. The brand is Rollin. It's not cheap, but it's not, I don't think it's as expensive as this one. The cheapest are those ones, the basics, you know, it's really for beginners. I think they are really good. Liquitex does that. The quality is maybe not as good as these ones, but however, the quality is really good. I also pulled out some silver, argent iridescent, so iridescent silver, because I don't especially need silver, but I thought that maybe I will need it in the branches or in the background, maybe, I'm not sure yet. And I also pulled some brown, so I have the Van Dyke brown, I have the burnt sienna. I will probably need both because I see 2 nuances of brown, but it will be mixed with some white because it's rather dark. More silver here. This one is nice. It's a Lefranc and Bourgeois. So yes, those ones are Lefranc and Bourgeois. It's a French brand, but I think you can find it in the US at Blick or at Michael's or stores like that. And I also put some purple because it's a little mauvey, you know, the background, so I thought maybe I could need that. So this one is Lefranc and Bourgeois. It's Egyptian violet. This one is really nice too. It's a basic, So it's matte, and this one is Liquitex. It's Prism Violet. I put it in plastic because I think there is a hole and I didn't want it to dry, because I absolutely love this color. And I have some white, mixing white, blanc pour mélange. The only thing, it's a Le Franc Bourgeois, the only thing is I find it a little transparent, so I'm not super happy with this white. I also have some iridescent white, but I don't think that I'm going to need it. It's just if I want to do some highlights, you know, like in makeup, but except that it's not makeup. So that's why I pulled my very cheap glossy acrylic white, which is actually made for kids. You know, I don't like the fact that it's glossy, but I like the fact that it's very opaque. And all the time I'm pulling this one. Mixed with another color, it won't be as glossy. I'm going to start drawing. I'm trying to be just under the camera. So you see the gesso dried. It's a good background, I would say. It's great if you don't have the means to buy a true canvas. However, try to find maybe bigger boxes, because for me it's still small, you know. What I saw on Pinterest, it was for small boxes like that for soap. That's fun, but for me it's really small. It's really tiny. It's cute to make a small present, and for a project with kids, for example, but I can't really express myself on something like that. For me it's really too small. You are going to tell me it's not a question of size, the expression, but still I have a tendency to paint big. I like big sizes. But I will do this one because I decided so. The result can be great, you know. It's not because it's small that it's going to suck automatically. Okay, I have a pencil. It's maybe not the right one. It's a 2B. It's maybe a little greasy. I will see how we say that. Gras. Yes, greasy. I will try with this one. I have an eraser in case if I'm not happy. I have a sharpener. You can also use some charcoal to draw, or even a dryer pencil, whatever you have. Just take a good eraser, because you don't want to have your thing messed up, of course. Okay, I must stay focused and draw.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
For those who
of pencil, I took a HB. It's a drier. It's better if I need to erase something. Anyway, everything is going to be covered with paint, but still you don't want your background to be dirty. You know, when you draw like that, you can be mistaken because the perspective is not the same as when the thing is straight in front of you. That's why usually I prefer painting. When I do fine art, I prefer painting on an easel because I can see my canvas straight in front of me and the perspective is better. However, I corrected a few things which were not working, but I think that I'm basically more or less done. So I continued my tail here. Maybe I must add some details like that, and there are stripes here. Anyway, it's the same thing. It's going to be covered with paint, but it gives you an indication where to put the shadows, the highlights, and things like that. You know, if you put your thing straight, of course you won't see the end of the tail, but if it's hang on a wall, you will be able to see the underneath. Anyway, I wanted to put more the focus on the face because it's, I think, the most interesting part. Okay, if you don't know how to draw, don't be discouraged, don't think that it's not for you. It's very easy. You can simply transfer it here, or simply take an image and glue it on your background. You know, there is so many ways. You can take a tracing paper, you know, calc, we call that calc in French. Tracing paper, it's transparent paper. You copy the image and you do it again, or with some carbon paper, so it gives you the outlines, and then you paint inside. You know, you don't need to be a Picasso to be able to do a painting like that. You know, it's supposed to be fun, not to make you sick and make you think that you suck and that you can do a thing. It happens that I draw not too badly. Some people draw much better than me. Okay, I'm going to continue. Took some mixing white here, a little gray, it's neutral gray number 5 Liquitex, and I also used the permanent Van Dyke brown for some of the feathers of the owl, and I will probably need the paint gray. I think that I'm going to use that rather than the black. Anyway, I'm going to mix some colors. Oh, you see, I've not been using it in a while, so this kind of thing happen. It's not oil. No, it's acrylic. That's weird. Interesting. Okay, I will see. If I took too much, I have this. I can close it, and the next day I can reuse what is remaining for a second coat. It's always better because acrylics dry fast and then it's lost. Okay, I will try first I took different brushes. You don't need as many brushes, you know. I took what I had, but you don't need so much. It happens that I have them, but just take what you need, you know. So this is synthetic. I have also some bristles like that, and I think that I have some Martre. Yeah, it's not this one. It's, yes, this one, Martre Kolansky. It's Martin. That is a very expensive one. The quality is really better. It's more precise. But if you can't afford Martre, you can buy some synthetic like that, and some bristle. But the use is not the same. I use more the synthetic for details, and this is more. Usually it's more for the wider areas, but sometimes the bristles are better to do certain things. Okay, I will start, otherwise we will never do it. So So I put just a little gray, really little. Yeah, I think the color is right. Because where it's white, actually it's not exactly white. It's very pale gray. Just one information, I pulled out this paint to show you. I don't know if it still exists. The name is Flash by Lefranc and Bourgeois. It's not acrylic, it's vinyl. It's a vinyl paint. Be careful because that is not permanent. If some water goes on it, everything disappears. It's almost like gouache. How we say gouache in English? I will write it on the screen. So be careful with that, unless you put a varnish on the top of it or you add some medium, an acrylic medium to make it more permanent, but it's going to make it more transparent. I love these colors, but they don't remain. Okay, so I will start with the white, which is kind of annoying because as the background is white, we see absolutely nothing. But I still have to do it because it's white. Maybe I will add a little thin gray. Yes. I've been painting with acrylic like that since a very long time. I mean, I paint furniture, but it's not the same. I paint my walls, I paint objects. But that is kind of like fine art, but with acrylic. And usually when I do fine art, I use oil because I prefer, but on an object it's difficult because it takes a lot of time to dry. So I thought that it would be quicker with acrylic because it dries faster. But it's funny how different it is. The feeling is absolutely not the same at all. If where you are it's too hot and it dries too fast and you can't do some ombre effects or things like that, if you don't want to use some oil, you still want to use some acrylic because you want to clean your brushes with water, you can use this. It's retarding medium that you mix with your colors. It's not going to change your colors. I use these kind of things when I do glazes on walls. Of course, I don't have the same size as that. I have a bigger bottle, but it can be useful if you want to do some effect on a wall. That's what we use in home decor when we paint on walls, like glazes, false marble, imitation of wood, with specific brushes, you know, to give some specific effects. We always add a retarding medium like that because it allows us to work. We have more time to do the effect actually. Obviously the Van Dyke brown is the perfect brown for that because it's a cold brown. I didn't even need to add some gray in it because it has the perfect color. So far I'm using the same brush, but at a point I will probably have to change the brush. a few hours later, my camera stopped because I didn't have enough memory on my camera, and I'm sorry about that. I changed the background. I started with a gray background. I don't remember if I filmed when I did the background, and I changed it to something a little more purple because it was too much gray on gray. It was kind of sad. Even though I want to copy that, it doesn't need to be the exact copy, and I didn't want to do something very depressing. I made the owl a little bigger because it was not enough. He was not fat enough. Actually, you know, I realized that when you make the drawing and it's flat, you don't see the thing right. You really have to put it, sorry, you really have to put it that way. So then you can really make a comparison between one and the other, you see. By checking, I saw that my owl was a little too thin. I added the yellow color. I continued the tail there, but maybe a little more detail will be necessary. Okay, once it's there, it's not done. It's not done because, okay, you have a painting, but for me, that is not something which is finished. I will let it dry. Maybe I won't need to add more. Maybe I will have to make a few adjustments. I want to precise the detail of the branches with a pencil because I think it would be nice. And I also, of course, I need to sign my painting, and I must think about what I'm going to do on the sides. And also at the back, because I never let a back like that just white. For me, any object, painting anything, of course not a canvas, but even on my canvas I paint on the sides because I consider that it must look finished. Because if you frame a canvas, it's okay, but I don't frame mine, so I really need to paint on the sides to make the object more finished. Here, same thing, because if you make it stand like that on a table, some people are going to see it at the front, but some people are going to see it at the back, and the back you can't let something just like that. For me, it's not finished, so I will have to consider what I do at the back. It will be the subject of a third video. I could have made a video with the whole process, but the video would have been way too long. And it needs to dry, and it needs to sit, and I need to be able to think about it and to have another perspective another day. You know, one day you see a thing, the next day you think, oh no, that's not good. Sometimes it's good to sleep on it, as we say. And of course I will keep the tail underneath, but I will have to think about what I do on the sides. But the sides must not be too present because the most important is, of course, the front. If you have any question, technical question, but anything, you can write a comment under the video and I will answer you. So my camera ran off yesterday, so I'm in the next day now, and I must just finish my video. I was just saying that I will do another video for the finishing of this thing, because according to me it's not finished. Please feel free to leave a comment under my video. If you like this video, it's very useful for me if you like it, because then I know that I can continue things like that you are interested. And if you want to subscribe, so you will be aware that there are new videos being released. So I see you very soon. My cat is telling you goodbye, and bye bye.